You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Breaking news. Investigators fearing 67 people were killed when a passenger plane and a military helicopter collided near Washington, D.C. Glad you're with us. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. We do want to warn you, this video is very disturbing to see. Video shows the moment of impact from last night. Crews have recovered 28 bodies so far. U.S. Figure Skating saying several of its members were on that flight. You see the moment of impact there. Now, the rescue operation has switched to a recovery operation. That's the latest update from authorities there in D.C. This is a live look right now as crews are in the icy Potomac River searching through the waters to recover bodies.
CBS 8's Chris Grow live in the studio with the latest development. 30s as far as the temperature, and then also 30s in that water, frigid temps.
Very frigid temps within the waters, and then 8 feet deep about where that plane was. You could see, again, it reversed there, almost on the belly exposed of the plane, if you will. And then on top of that, according to the fire chief in that area, that it is very dark and it is very murky. Now, we did hear from that fire chief as well as other local and federal leaders, and according to the newly confirmed Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, this was a normal flight pattern for both the plane and the helicopter. It's something you often see in D.C.
Last night, if you live in the D.C. area, you would know that this was a clear night last night. The helicopter was in a standard pattern. If you live in the D.C. area, you'll see helicopters up and down the river. This flight pattern is seen oftentimes when you live in D.C. This was a standard flight pattern last night as well.
It was late last night when this collision happened. The American Airlines jet carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members colliding with an Army Black Hawk helicopter, 3 people aboard that helicopter. This was while the plane was trying to land at Ronald Reagan National Airport. It was arriving from Wichita, Kansas. We understand the helicopter was in the middle of a training exercise. Now, what we know so far, based on air traffic controller communications and that audio, is that the plane was asked by air traffic control to land on a shorter runway at the airport. Pilots confirmed the runway was cleared. They began their descent. But 30 seconds before that crash, air traffic control asked the helicopter if it had the plane in sight. There was no response. They radioed again seconds before that crash. And then, of course, as we know, that midair collision happened. The body of the plane was found upside down in the Potomac River. Hundreds of first responders there now attempting to locate and pull out bodies from the cold waters. Some have washed ashore. This man you're about to hear from now is holding out hope that his wife, who he believed was on the flight, was able to survive.
Just praying that somebody's pulling her out of the river right now. She texted me that they were landing in 20 minutes. The rest of my text did not get delivered.
Now, multiple agencies investigating this incident, not just the crash, but what happened the seconds, the moments before it happened. That includes the Pentagon, the FBI, the FAA, and the NTSB. President Trump has weighed in after being briefed on the incident and has said, quote, "May God bless their souls." Eric and Netta.
Oh, really tough to report on this. Thank you very much, Chris, for the latest there. We'll continue to keep you updated on any developments. Turning to local news here now. Right now, about 1,400 volunteers are conducting the annual point-in-time count of people experiencing homelessness.
Yeah, really important to get these numbers so we can get a better grasp on our homelessness crisis here. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live in Hillcrest now with a closer look at this count that's happening right now, right?
That's correct. Good morning, Eric and Netta. And as you guys mentioned, this is extremely important. It happens every year, especially to get those updated numbers. We know that this is something that we continue to see around the streets of San Diego. So we want to know really where the progress is at. And I want to bring in Councilmember Stephen Whitburn. We've been following him and his team just around the streets of San Diego. Just walk me through these past 2 hours and really what you've witnessed, and especially in your district.
We've been walking around Hillcrest for the last couple of hours, talking to people that we run into who are homeless. There have actually been fewer people on the streets than we've seen in the last couple of years. I'm glad that there are fewer people out here. The people that we have spoken to really run the gamut. I was just talking to a woman named Doris. She's been living outdoors for 25 years, and she admitted she's got some real mental health issues and spent some time in jail, and that's her story. Another fellow that I talked to, a younger guy, he had moved down here from Washington State for a job. The job fell through, and he ended up getting assaulted. His stuff was stolen, and he's been homeless, and he's looking for help. He wants a shelter bed. So there's a real mix of people who are out here, but fortunately there aren't as many out here as we've seen in past years.
Right, very different cases that we are following just being out here this morning. Have any of them been open to some of the resources that the city offers? What have they kind of told you? Why are they still out here on the streets? What's sort of their reason for it?
So I spoke to a couple of people who are interested in going into a shelter bed if we have enough shelter beds available. Right now the shelters are full. We need more shelter beds. A couple of them said they would take a shelter bed if there was one. Heard from a couple others they're not interested in a shelter bed. They weren't aware of the safe sleeping sites that we have, the safe campsites that we have, and said, well, they would actually be interested in that. So I'd like to get them connected to those safe sleeping sites and into a safer and healthier place that's off the streets. And then a couple of other people, one of the fellows that I was talking to believes that he's a divine spirit and doesn't need shelter and isn't interested in any services. So that's kind of a difficult situation. How do you handle somebody like that who's not really aware of where they are? So it's a real mix out here, but I think that we've talked to, obviously a lot of people who used to be out here are in shelter or in safe sleeping sites or in housing now. We're making some good progress, but there's still some difficult cases out here that we need to get into a better place.
All right, Council Member, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. As you heard, right, some progress, but still far too many to be here on the street. So that's why we're doing this point in time count. We're going to continue to follow the Council Member just around Hillcrest. So we'll keep you guys updated with what we're learning here this morning. For now, I'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, interesting perspectives there. Thank you so much for sharing that, Regina. New this morning, authorities are investigating after a driver slammed into a tree in Spring Valley. It happened before 2:49 this morning in the 4200 block of Bancroft Drive. Authorities say the car rolled over and then hit that tree. At least one person had to be extricated from the car, so pretty serious injuries. They were taken to the hospital in what we're being told is CPR status. So we will keep you updated as soon as we learn more on this. Also new this morning, crews are trying to determine what caused a fire in Oceanside. It happened at the American Tire Depot on North Coast Highway around 1 this morning. Crews contained the fire to the lobby area, thankfully, because, we know you don't want to get to the tires. No one was inside at the time. They discovered the fire started on the roof and possibly from electrical wiring failure, but they are still investigating that. Also new this morning, Israel is pausing the release of Palestinian prisoners after a chaotic scene during the handover of Israeli hostages. Look. Yeah, this video here showing Hamas militants leading the hostages towards Red Cross vehicles in the middle of a huge crowd of Palestinians. 8 Israeli hostages were released. Israel was supposed to release 110 Palestinian prisoners, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that's on hold until they can assure the safe release of hostages.
President Donald Trump plans to use Guantanamo Bay to hold migrants living in the U.S. illegally. Guantanamo Bay is a U.S. naval base in Cuba, best known for holding terror suspects and enemy combatants after 9/11. President Trump wants it to host up to 30,000 migrants. He also signed the Laken Riley Act, which mandates the detention and potential deportation of people in the U.S. illegally who are charged with theft or violent crimes. Some San Diegans are protesting changes to immigration enforcement. People rallied at the intersection of Escondido Boulevard and Washington yesterday.
I saw all this injustice. I saw my neighbor getting picked up. He was on his way to work and there was like 10, 11 people just waiting for him. It was so sad. He was on his way to work. I was like, this is so unfair.
Now, Mexico has opened 10 repatriation centers along northern states, including in Tijuana, to help people who are deported. And this just in here, firefighters have fully contained the Border 2 fire on Otay Mountain. Right on, they did it, 100% containment. It has burned more than 6,600 acres, has stayed that size since the weekend. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Taking a peek outside here, we got a little help from Mother Nature here as far as the fire, the dryness. We could use still some moisture because of how dry we are here, Alex.
Absolutely, and there is more help on the way.
Nice.
It's going to take till next week, but I think we can be patient and wait for the rain to get here. A very happy Thursday morning, San Diego. It's a beautiful start to the day. We got the sun just starting to poke its head out this morning. It's currently about 53 degrees in the San Diego area. Humidity won't be an issue today, and the winds at the moment are nice and calm. Here are some more temperatures to start your day. It is cold atop Mount Laguna right now at about 29 degrees. Palomar warming up into the mid-30s. Other spots, you're looking at the 40s today, 45 degrees in Ramona at the moment, 48 in El Cajon, and with the extra humidity out by the coast, values are a little bit warmer, 50 in Encinitas and 52 degrees in Carlsbad. There is a chance of some light showers, some light drizzle this morning, not getting picked up right now in the satellite and radar picture. It's looking pretty clear outside, but do keep in mind, maybe you're driving around to school or to work this morning, you could see a passing shower, really light, and then that's going to end this morning. We head into Friday, the weekend, things clear out. Here are your weather headlines heading into the full forecast in just a few minutes. Today is going to be another cool day. Expect daytime highs to again be beneath seasonal averages. There's a warm-up on the weekend, so we get back to average, and then some spots like the mountains are going to be well exceeding the seasonal average, maybe about 10 degrees up. And then showers by next week. I will discuss the timing of the next rain event coming up in the full forecast, but it's always good to get some rain back in there. Okay, let's go ahead and take a check-in on your traffic this Thursday morning. Right now, the roads are looking really good all over San Diego County. You got lots of green out there and just a little bit of some morning clouds getting picked up in the mountains. Your drive times at the moment are looking great. No slowdowns on the North 805, the 94 westbound, or the 5 south. You should have a fairly easy time getting around this morning. Now to your border wait times. It is a 90-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry and 45 minutes at Otay Mesa.